Good day, viewers. Let's solve the equations. Number one, 8 over y plus 4y is equals to minus 12. To solve this equation, we need to eliminate the fraction by multiplying the denominator to each of the terms in the equation. So we have y times 8 over y plus y times 4y is equals to y times minus 12. Of course, we know that y can cancel y, so we are left with 8 plus y times 4y is 4y squared is equals to minus 12y. Now, we can see that the only variable here is y, and the highest power of the variable is 2. Therefore, it tells you that it is what? A quadratic equation. So you are going to write this equation in a quadratic standard, which is 4y squared. If I collect like terms, I have plus 12y, then plus 8 is equal to 0. At this point, you can see that it's already in the standard form of a quadratic equation. So now we are going to factorize this quadratic equation. But if you look at the first term here, the quotient of y squared is 4. You're going to use the quotient of this y squared to multiply the last term of that equation, which is 8. So you now have 4 times 8, which is 32. Now you now ask yourself, what are those two numbers such that when I multiply them, I'm going to get 32? And when I add them, I'm going to get 12, because these are 12y and 8y are the one we are supposed to put into consideration, because it will enable us to get the middle term of the quadratic equation. And we know that the two factors are 4 and 8, because 4 times 8 will give me 32, and 4 plus 8 will give me 12. Now the two factors are to be splitted into the middle term of the quadratic equation, which is now 4y squared plus 4y plus 8y plus 8 is equals to 0. Now you can see that nothing changed here, because 4y plus 8y is still 12y. So this equation is also the same thing as this equation. What we just did is to simplify it. Now you can put them in brackets. So we now have 4y squared plus 4y plus 8y plus 8 is equals to 0. Now at this point you factorize. So you factorize, what is common here? We know that 4y is common. So your 4y will now be outside the bracket. Then 4y divided by 4y squared will give us only 1. Then 4y plus 4y will give us 1 plus, what is common here? We have 8. Now your 8 will be outside the bracket. Then that 8 will be used to what? To divide 8y, which is all y only. So y 8 now divided by 8 is what? Is 1. All equals to what? 0. Therefore, you write out the factors outside. 4y plus 8, putting it inside the bracket. Since y plus 1 and y, they are common, we just y plus what? 1, because they are common, we are trying to factorize them. All equals to what? 0. Then 4y plus 8 is equals to 0. Therefore, 4y is equals to, if you collect like terms, you have minus what? 8. Therefore, to get your y, you divide both sides by what? By 4. Therefore, y is equals to what? Minus 2. Now, y plus 1 is equals to what? 0. Since y plus 1 is equals to 0, therefore y is equals to what? Minus 1. We collect like terms. Therefore, y now is equals to minus 2 or minus 1. Now, let's look at the second equation. Number 2. 4 over x is equals to x plus 3. At this point, to clear the fraction, for simplicity's sake, is that you use the denominator to multiply all through. So if you multiply all through, you're going to have 4x over x is equals to what? X squared plus what? 3x. At this point, this x will cancel this x. So we now have 4 now is equals to x squared plus 3x. What is in the standard form is telling you that is in a quadratic form, because the only variable here is y, is x, and also the highest power of x here is 2. It tells you that it is what? A quadratic equation. So you have to write it in the standard form. So to write it in the standard form, you have x squared plus 3x minus what? 4. Because once it causes this equal sign, it becomes a negative number. You have minus 4 is equals to 0. So at this point, we have to factorize. Now, what two numbers are you going to multiply to get minus 4? And the same numbers or factors. When you add them, it will give you what? 3. And the two numbers are minus 1 and what? And 4. Now, you see, if you multiply minus 1 times 4, you're going to get minus 4. And if you add minus 1 plus 4, you will get what? Plus 3. But they are all having x. They are all having x as their coefficient. So we now have what? X squared plus 4x minus x. That is now 1x. Because the coefficient of the x is 1. So minus what? Minus 4 equal to what? 0. Yeah, you can see that the middle term now is equals to this, because 4x minus x is what? 3x. Therefore, you can put it in brackets, x squared plus 4x minus x plus 4, because this minus has affected the minus here, because we are putting it in bracket, because minus times x will give us minus x, minus times plus 4 will give us what? Minus 4 equal to what? 0. So this time around, we are going to do what? We need to factorize each of the what? The terms in the bracket. So x squared plus 4x. What is common? We have only x. So x now into what? X plus what? 4 minus is 1. Because 1 times the whole of the terms in the bracket will still give you the terms in the bracket. So I have 1 into x plus 4 is equal to what? 0. Then you write out all the factors outside the bracket, which is x minus 1. Then since these are common, x plus what? 4, which is equal to 0. Therefore, x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 4 is equal to 0. Then, collecting like terms, our x now is equal to minus plus 4, which is 1, or our x now is equal to what? Minus 4. So that is that is it.